There are literally asteroids everywhere.
Everywhere.
Hey, curious kids. Kevin here. Today on A Place Called Space, we are talking about the asteroid belt. First off, what is an asteroid and why does it have a belt? Well, asteroids are small, irregularly shaped rocky bodies that orbit the sun. They are the leftovers of the formation of our solar system. And they're not a broken up planet, like some have thought. Asteroid means star-like, because when they were first discovered, they looked like stars, meaning they were like dots of light in the sky, but they moved like they were a lot closer to us. So this belt of asteroids, the asteroid belt. Well, where is it? Well, it's where most of the asteroids are. It's called the main asteroid belt, and it is located between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. It separates the inner rocky planets from the outer gas giant planets. It's 2 to 3 times the Earth-Sun distance away from the Sun. The distance from the Earth to the Sun, the center of our solar system, is known as 1 AU, an astronomical unit. So the main asteroid belt is 2 to 3 AUs from the Sun, 2 to 3 times further away than Earth is. Why do we call it a belt, right? Well, we do because it's more thin, like a disk. Most of the asteroids are close to the same level, or the ecliptic plane, in the orbit. Now, it's 140 million kilometers wide. That's just short of 1 AU, the Earth-Sun distance. So if we moved it in, it would pretty much fill up all the space between us and the Sun. But it's not there. It's out between Mars and Jupiter. And it's there because of the grand tack hypothesis that says Jupiter and Saturn started to move inward towards the Sun in the early days of the solar system, but then they started to move back out and settled to where they are now. This movement and the gravity of Jupiter is what put the asteroids where they are. Sometimes Jupiter actually throws asteroids towards us. In 1596, Johannes Kepler suggested that there was too big of a gap between Mars and Jupiter, so there must be something there. And in 1766, Johann Daniel Titus saw a pattern with the planets in their orbits. So he suggested that a planet had to be between Mars and Jupiter. And soon, the hunt for that planet was on. In 1801, an Italian astronomer discovered Ceres, the new dwarf planet, right? Ceres is 1/4 the size of our moon and has about 33% of all of the mass in the asteroid belt. In the early 1850s is when enough of those rocks were found and we started calling it the asteroid belt. Now, there are a ton of asteroids out there. NASA's current count in May 2021 is 1,080,514. But if you put all of those together, it would still be smaller than our moon. There are like 5 big rocks and then the rest are pretty small. And they are very spaced out. If you were standing on one, you wouldn't even be able to see another one because they're so far away. So, I hate to break it to you, but Han and Chewie will have no place to hide when they're running from the Empire. So even though they are really spread out, there are big areas with a lot less asteroids, and these are called Kirkwood gaps. And those are created because of Jupiter's gravity as it orbits the Sun. Speaking of Jupiter, remember in the beginning when I said most of the asteroids are in the main belt? Well, there are also asteroids in Jupiter's orbit. Some of them are in a group in front of Jupiter, and some are in a group behind. These asteroids are called Trojans, Trojan asteroids. There are also asteroids with really funky orbits, and some called NEAs, near-Earth asteroids. These are the ones we need to keep our eyes on and monitor so that we don't end up like the dinosaurs. Now, on to trivia. The answer to last week's question of what is the only planet to spin backwards is A, Venus. This week's question is, what is the belt of rocks out past Neptune called? Is it A, Roman asteroids, B, Kuiper belt, C, Oort cloud, or D, Titus rocks? Tune in next week to get your answer. Always, be curious.